In sports, Ontario Series Lacrosse, giving you a little update of the scoring leaders for your own Sound North Stars. Sean Lance leads the team overall with 16 points on 2 goals and 14 assists. Next up with 14 is Brendan Welsh. Coming in third is Colin Maudsley with 13. Fourth spot belongs to Mike McLeod with 11. And rounding out the top 5 is Brady Hesseltine with 9. Next up for the North Stars, Friday at 8:30 in Oshawa against the Brooklyn Merchants, before returning home on Sunday, June the 2nd to host Six Nations from the Bayshore and Owen Sound at 4 o'clock. If you want to win a pair of tickets to this contest, simply email sports@887theriver.ca with your name and contact number along with this week's codeword, and you could win. This week's codeword is Bayshore. NHL Stanley Cup Finals resume tonight in Boston as Game 2 goes between the Bruins and the St. Louis Blues. This one gets underway just after 8 o'clock. The Bruins carry a 1-0 series lead in tonight's game after a 4-2 win on Monday, a game in which the Bees overcame a 2-goal deficit to score the next 4 unanswered. History is not on the side of St. Louis when it comes to coming back in the finals after dropping the first game, as teams that have won Game 1 have gone on to win the Stanley Cup 77.2% of the time since the format was changed to a best-of-7 back in 1939. And also it is the eve of this year's NBA Finals as the dynasty Golden State Warriors, winners of the last 3 of the last 4 NBA championships, the first back in 2015 and then the last 2 coming in 2017 and of course last year, take on the NBA Finals rookies, the Toronto Raptors. They are making their first trip to the finals in the team's 24-year history. The two teams will rely heavily on their big performers. Steph Curry of the Warriors has averaged 27.3 points per game in this year's playoffs, while Kawhi Leonard of the Raptors is just slightly higher at 31.2 points per game. Game 1 tomorrow night in Toronto at 9. Finally, Toronto Blue Jays dropping a 3-1 decision to the Tampa Bay Rays last night. The two teams will play the finale of the 3-game series tonight just after 7. That's all for sports. I'm Andrew Rogers for 88.7 The River.